my gosh, she's telling me off. Can y'all hear her? Pardon me. Girl, relax, child. This is date night for me, okay? Self-date night. So, yes, these are tacos from Taco Casa. They're really good. I got 2 of them. I'm gonna have a protein shake, and then yes, I did get cookies as well. I'm treating myself, you know? Like, a girl's gotta date herself. Like, that's the thing I am really focused on right now. Like, I'm so happy. I'm so peaceful all on my own, and like, you know, I'm not just saying that, I promise. Like, I really am truly happy on my own, which is like a really cool feeling. Oh, I should have opened these up. They're kind of soggy now because they've been sitting there for a while. Shit. Oh well, hold on. Let me eat and I'll talk to y'all in a minute. All right. Thanks for waiting, y'all. I had my tacos. I figured I would just chat with you guys about some stuff I've been thinking about, and I figure it might be easier for me just to articulate it out loud in the event, you know, it'll help anyone else on like a self-love journey. Ever since my separation and divorce, you know, obviously I've had a very big like existential life crisis. Not really, you know, being dramatic, but you know, I've had to really rethink. Am I recording right now? I think I am. Hold on. Yeah, I am. Oh my gosh. What a mess. Like, the foundation of everything that you stand for, right, is kind of like broken down. Like, I had to pick up all those pieces and like figure out who I am now. One of the things that I struggled with before, which I never knew I struggled with, was around self-love. So I wanted to kind of, I feel like I want to share more. Like, whenever I have little epiphanies and stuff, I kind of want to share with you guys in the event you're also going through a self-love journey. And I don't know, sometimes, you know, hearing someone's perspective can maybe like, you know, get certain, you know, have you start thinking about things in your own life and whatnot. So anyways, that's kind of why I wanted to share. You know, one of the things that's super important to me, something that like one of my values and something that I value and I realize about myself is that I'm a super protective person when it comes to people I love and people who I care about. Like the connections that I have, I'm super, super protective of them. Once I have a certain opinion about someone and I have, you know, I feel truth about a certain person, like I am loyal to a fault. At times, I'm working on, you know, that, on being, you know, loyal and dedicated. You know, I think those are still really good qualities to have, but also not to the point where I overgive myself. Like, that's something that I've noticed, and I think is just, you know, something I'm working through is I know now I'm like an overgiver. I will continuously just give and give and give, and I have no boundaries, or I had no boundaries. And to some degree, like, it's hard because I feel like, you know, life, everything's balanced, right? So I'm not talking about absolutely everything. I'm not trying to generalize, but especially like when I think back at my old, you know, back to my, you know, previous relationship, you know, like you hear and you always think about like unconditional love, right? Like you giving 100% and that person giving 100%, but you know, everyone's, and something he and I used to talk about was sometimes people's 100% is different because everyone has different capacities, right? Like maybe my capacity is like here and his capacity is here on what you're able to give someone else and whatnot, like, and give as in energetically, emotionally. I struggled with was at some point in time, I started to feel, you know, that imbalance of me over giving and putting in so much energy and giving all of me to the point where I was like basically drained. It's hard to explain fully, but I think if you understand or feel the same way, you'll understand what I'm saying. Anyways, that's not really what I'm trying to talk about, but that's, I don't know. So I'm super protective of like everyone around me, but I started to realize that like, and that was something that I highly value. Like I want someone, and people who I'm connected to, friends, family, you know, coworkers, whatever, and in the future something romantic, like something that's super important for me is like I want to feel protected. I want to feel like, you know, someone is going to be there to, we're not doing that. We are not crying today. I want to feel like someone is, you know, protecting me and like the life that we create with each other, all that stuff. Like that's super important to me because that's how I am. Yeah, anyways, I don't want to go into that, but so what I'm saying is, you know, I want that from someone else. That's something that I highly value in a place where now I'm like, I'm happy being alone. I'm happy being single. I'm not looking for a relationship or anything like that, because at the end of the day, like, I don't want just any relationship, right? Like I want to be with the right person, and no matter how long that takes, whatever, you know, whatever. I'm good on my own, I know that. And I'm not just saying that, like I truly feel that way. For example, yesterday I kind of had like a hard day, and I wanted to share this because, you know, we're on a journey, right? So yesterday I kind of had a hard day because I was on Instagram looking at reels. I don't know, just like something about it got me, I felt sad because you know, obviously, I know no one's life is perfect, right? But like there are certain essences of people's life that like I get sad sometimes because like that's what I want. And don't get me wrong, I'm happy for, like when I see that on Instagram and stuff, like I have no bad feelings towards them. Like I'm so happy that people, you know, have that and have that happiness, but it just reminds me of what I wanted in the past, having a family and stuff like that. Like that's important to me. And but then, you know, I was talking with a friend, and you know, at the end of the day, I would rather wait and have the right person in my life, because I'd rather spend a short amount of time with someone who's like the right person versus spending a lifetime with someone who's not the right person for me. One of the things that I'm working towards is like, I always hear this, like be the person that you want to be with, like be that for yourself. And so I'm working on that. So things like, you know, taking myself on dates or doing the things that I would want to do with a partner, but just doing them by myself. So for example, there was a Van Gogh exhibition at the Dallas Museum of Arts, like real paintings, like from, like it was the Olive Grove series. And I'm not like an art aficionado. What I find really interesting about him is he was going through a really hard time, a really rough time in his life, and beautiful things came out of that. Like his paintings, they're so beautiful, and it was during a time of turmoil, much of it was. So I don't know, there's something about that message that really inspires me, and I just kind of like, I don't know, there's something about it that I really enjoy. So anywho, I went by myself and I really enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed spending time, you know, taking my time looking at those things. Anyway, so I'm doing things that I would, you know, ideally like one day to have a partner to do things with, but I'm okay doing it on my own. But, you know, outside of that, like being the kind of partner that I would want. So for example, like being protective and being protected, that's really important to me in the future. And so I'm like, that's one thing I need to work on within myself, because I realize that while I'm being protective of everyone else, I don't do that for myself. Some ways that I don't do that is like, for example, I have very low boundaries, and I have for like almost all of my life, right? Like I am an overgiver. And many times there are people out there who will just take and take and take. Like if you are giving, they go and take it, okay? One of the things is like I notice that I don't really have boundaries when it comes to work especially. You guys know that if you've watched my channel for a while, like I will just work my ass off, and I have very low boundaries when it comes to that. To some degree, I feel like that has helped me in life, or helped me in my career, because it's my own work ethic. But when you do it too much to the point where it like affects your health in some way, like physically, mentally, emotionally, like I think that's when I should start. I realize where I need to start putting a boundary up for myself, like to protect myself. Like I tend to do that. I go way past the point of burnout, and I need to be better at that. So like for example, today's Friday, I've been staying up late for the past forever, and you know, I'm dramatic, but like for a very long time I've been working long hours, and especially the past week or two I've been staying up until like 11 midnight, and then working on the weekends and stuff like that. So you know, I'm getting to the point where like last month my hair was falling out like in big clumps, not great. I haven't been sleeping very well, and then also I was being really inconsistent with like working out and everything. And that part of being like protecting someone, right? I'm like, okay, Steph, like you need to take care of yourself. Like you would do that for anyone else. If one of your friends was going through something like this, you would tell them like, hey, you need to take time out for yourself. Like do all those things that you would do, and say those things to myself that I would say to someone I care about, because I'm someone I care about, right? You know, I've come to realize that it's a privilege to have access to someone, right? Like every single person here on this earth has something special about them. Like there's a light inside of all of us. We all bring something to the table, and like that's special. That's, you know, you're worthy, you're valuable, and not just like because of what you do or what you have, but like the kind of like the heart that you have. And so, you know, I say the same things to all my friends, and I think about it with myself, and I'm like, I feel the same way about myself. You know, like I know I have a good heart. I'm not perfect, you know, obviously. I'm confident in that. I know that I have good intentions for other people, and I know that at the end of the day, like I can go to sleep at night and feel good about who I am. I can look in the mirror at myself and I like who I see, like not the physical features, but like, you know, someone I'm proud of. And I've worked really hard towards that, especially over the past, you know, however many months. But I just started to realize like I'm allowing certain people in my life who, you know what, they haven't earned that. They haven't earned access to me in that way. And I've made the conscious decision to like not pour any more into that connection. If there becomes some kind of like balanced connection or something like that, then, you know, I'd be fine. But, you know, sometimes if you just let things go, you'll just realize that maybe that person in your story, maybe they've run their course. I did kind of have a hard time with that because, you know, like I'm not someone who kind of like gives up on people. At the same time, I'm like, you know what, I deserve that protection. Show myself that I value myself, that having access to me being the friend that I am, or the coworker that I am, or the family member that I am, you know, like I deserve some kind of, you know, energy back too. And I think that's kind of something that I realized recently. And in some ways, like I feel a little sad that, you know, you can't just like, there are going to be people out there who don't appreciate or value you, but that doesn't have any reflection on me as a person. That doesn't mean you as a person is not as valuable either. It's just some people aren't meant for each other. Sometimes timing's not right, whatever. Having to like no longer be naive is something that I've kind of struggled with. Like, it's made me sad in the past, like to know that I have to be a little bit more guarded. I've made peace with the fact that I do have to be a little bit more guarded because like I'm protecting myself. And if I want to find someone who's going to be of a similar nature, like I have to do that for myself. And then hopefully I'll attract that at some point in time. Having higher standards and having boundaries will just weed out the people who are not meant to be in your life. And we're not just talking about romantic connections, talking about just like anyone, right? So anyways, that's some of the stuff that I've been kind of thinking through. I don't know. I hope sharing and talking about this kind of stuff is helpful. And I just hope it kind of like gets you thinking about, you know, any certain situations in y'all's life as well. I'm gonna finish my protein shake. Thanks for hanging out with me, and see y'all next time.